Hi there, hope you're doing really well, and welcome to another Insomnia Insight episode. I want to share something that literally just hit me today. It's basically just a statement that I hope will be helpful to review, and it is this one. All insomnia is caused by hyperarousal, but not all hyperarousal causes insomnia. Okay, think about it for a second. It's very similar to common statements like this one. All Teslas are cars, but not all cars are Teslas. Or all dogs are animals, but not all animals are dogs, right? We understand that very well. And going back to this, we can sort of get a sense of where this leads. All insomnia is caused by hyperarousal, but not all hyperarousal causes insomnia. And uh, one of the reasons I want to talk about this today is that there's a very common situation where someone has learned some about insomnia and notices that they are quite hyper aroused in the evening, and then thinks this is a guarantee that I will not sleep tonight, and that may not be the case. And in fact, we'll see that thinking so that you have to absolutely get rid of all hyperarousal often creates its own loop and its own struggle, and there's no need for that whatsoever. And by the way, if you're new to the channel and you're wondering like what's hyperarousal, just means a heightened state of alertness that comes typically when it comes to insomnia. It comes from like fear and anxiety, but it can be from like excitement or preoccupation, or like looking forward to something, or anything that creates a little bit of a heightened sense of emotional state, if you will. Okay, so we looked at this statement. Now, what often happens is that when you discover this channel, maybe you read my book, something like that, you find this gas and brake model, which very, very briefly is like the gas in our sleep system is sleep drive, kind of like a hunger for sleep, how much we need to sleep. And the only thing that creates a sleep drive is how long we've been awake. And then on the flip side, we have brake in the sleep system, a safety brake to make sure we don't sleep when it's unsafe to sleep, and that is hyperarousal. That's the gas in the brake model. So when you first learn this, like the most common thing that happens is the idea that, aha, I understand how sleep works. I need to increase my sleep drive. I'm never feeling sleepy. I just need to boost that sleep drive I have. And a question I came up with yesterday that kind of clarifies the situation is this one. Do you think you spend too much time asleep or awake? Right? Because the only thing that creates a sleep drive is being awake. Nothing else does that. So if you answer the question with like, I think I spend too much time being awake, then we know already that insomnia is not a sleep drive problem. You're awake for quite a bit. You have enough sleep drive. Okay. So then the second idea that comes often is this one. Okay, got it. So then I need to reduce my hyperarousal. Or it's actually more than that. It's actually typically this one. Hi, I understand the gas and brake model. So if hyperarousal is what keeps me from sleeping, I will not sleep unless I'm not hyper aroused. And it seems so important to not have this. It's called anxiety or fear or hyper arousal in the evening, because it seems like, of course, understanding the gas and brake model, that's what keeps me from sleep. If I'm hyper aroused, I will not sleep. Is a very common idea that leads to the struggle, because hyperarousal is just like any emotion. The more we want an emotion to go away, the more sticky it becomes. The more we try to like push away hyperarousal, the more hyper aroused we become. And so the first thing I want to do here actually now is look at this statement again. All insomnia is caused by hyperarousal, but not all hyperarousal is caused by insomnia. Let's look at that second part. Not all hyperarousal causes insomnia. Is that really true? I think it is. Oftentimes, you can remember a time where you were quite anxious in the evening. You maybe didn't think you would sleep much, and you still did. It's pretty common experience that shows us that even if you're hyperaroused in the evening, doesn't mean you won't sleep well. Or another scenario, maybe like you yourself or a kid or somebody's really excited about Christmas or something else happening tomorrow. You're getting married, or I don't know, some big thing tomorrow, and you're really excited about it, and you don't sleep much. But that's not insomnia. That's not even like that's just the kind of being excited and not sleeping much, right? That's not insomnia. So we can see it's another example of where hyperarousal doesn't lead to insomnia. So I think that's a brief case, but I think still a solid case for backing this one up. But not all hyperarousal causes insomnia. We can be hyperaroused in the evening and still end up sleeping well, or not having any struggle, not struggling, whatever. Okay, so now we looked at that. We can look at the second part of the statement, which is all insomnia is caused by hyperarousal. Is that really true? Oftentimes, there is a follow-up question to this, which is like, how about things like noise levels, pain, my partner snoring, I have a medical problem, I'm taking medication, I just came off medication, my hormones, I'm in menopause, things like that. Don't these things cause insomnia? They don't. They can, like external things like that are not like thought related, they can cause sleep disruption. They can cause, like if you have pain, of course you won't sleep well, which is not the same as insomnia. Insomnia is really only caused by fear, yeah, really a fear, really the fear of not being awake, of not sleeping, I should say. So insomnia is really a self-perpetuating trouble that stems from fear of not sleeping. So that, by definition, insomnia is caused by fear. That's all it is. So we've seen now that all insomnia is caused by hyperarousal, but not all hyperarousal causes insomnia. So where's the practical take-home message here? Like at this point in this video, like kind of a very logical next question is like, so what are you saying? Like, shouldn't I do anything about hyperarousal? I've learned the gas and brake model. I know hyperarousal is kind of what's causing my issue. I have a brake problem, not a gas problem. So what are you saying? Should I do anything about it? I think you should. You should definitely do something about it. And what should you do? Well, education, I think, is like number one. Because when you understand sleep, you understand yourself, you understand how your mind works, et cetera, there's so much less problem solving. And that automatically reduces hyperarousal and makes things much easier. And seeing things as an invitation to learn about yourself, self-exploration called here, I think that is so helpful, as is self-kindness, the lack of criticism. All those things lead to more peace and less hyperarousal. But here's kind of the but. Having no hyperarousal does not need to be a goal. It is not a requirement for sleeping well or arriving in a place of peace and peaceful sleep. I think this is so important because, again, having the idea that I have to not have any hyperarousal or I won't sleep at all is not true, and that idea creates so much struggle. So again, you can do things like education, self-kindness, learn about yourself to reduce sort of the type of hyperarousal that is really related to or stems or kind of like sleep focused. And that's helpful. But if you find yourself still feeling a little bit anxious, you're still a little bit worried, still a little bit hyperaroused, know the following, that all insomnia is caused by hyperarousal, but not all hyperarousal cause insomnia. The hyperarousal you sense may not create any trouble sleeping whatsoever. And knowing this can make it so easier to let that go, let that be, if you will. And again, not having any hyperarousal is not helpful to have a goal. It's not necessary to have a goal at all, at least not if you'd like to sleep well forever. Hope this was helpful to you. Maybe it was a little scattered. It was kind of like just a fresh thought, but I really want to share it right away. So yeah, let me know in the comment section what you thought. If this is helpful, any follow-up questions would be amazing. So again, super nice having you here, and I hope to have you back soon. Until then, take it easy. Bye now.